I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, so let's in. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap news. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. They betray thirst rules, where every headline's a revelation.
Welcome, welcome. Luna Lopez here for all your sexy, sassy, unfiltered, news. Israel turning Christians to Zionist. Zionism indoctrination. Douche fuckface dickbag fart breath Mandani. His view on prison and police. That was a mouthful. Let me do it again. Douche fuckface dickbag fart breath Mandani's view on prison and police. Yikes. I love it. Katie Porter is a fat sack of pedo defending shit. Joe Rogan talks shit on Porter as well. Porter also gets triggered easily. Some other dude also talking shit on Porter. Porter loses her mind during an interview, and she is also fat and ugly. I'm running out of funny titles to these Porter videos because you sent me like 100 of them. So there's 3 left. That's production's little note to me. Andrew loses Prince title. Like former videos on the PDF file formerly known as Prince. Saw what I did there. Dems don't say what they mean. Cheryl wants to indoctrinate kids. How queer was Jesus? That doesn't feel right to say. Some idiot in a car talks about how Hurricane Melissa was a detonation. Stealing is so rad. A white talks truth about Jamaica. Donald Trump wants to test nukes or something like that. I don't know. Truth about the government shutdown. Our friend Parker is weird and cool. Erica Kirk is a fakey McFakerson. Who is Jared Bernstein? Cute dog Halloween costumes. Trump tells Nigeria to chill out a bit on all the Christian slaughtering. And Nicki Minaj responds to Trump. There you have it, folks. Woo! It's going to be a fun one. And let's look at the chitty chat. Can I have control of my mouse? Thank you. Let's see who's here. All right. We got Jay Rice, Tempo Daddy. Nice name. Rob, Mr. G-Body. I love that. Honky Tonk. Good to see you, honey. Katie is a freak. Yeah, JT, I know. Yellowtail alert. Hey, from Key Largo. Ooh, I love the Keys so much. My heart. If I could live in the Keys, I would. It would probably be Sunset Key, which is where like me and my family like to go. But Key West, it's just a little boat ride, a little 10-minute boat ride. And Key West is so fun. There's so many like carnies, like homeless people who do tricks in the street. And it's just kind of a fun place to be. Cleaner than New Orleans. Anything in Florida is going to be more fun than Louisiana. And then Dark Raven. Damn, girl, when did you go all supermodel? I don't know what I did different today. Thank you for the compliment, though. I did notice when I sat down at production and saw the screens, I was like, oh, my makeup looks good today. Yellowtail, thank you for the rose. Othmore, David, Life Agent, Ario, Ryan Lopez. What's up, hun? Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to have a full house tonight. This is getting better and better. If you enjoy my content tonight, please notice above me, and if you're on YouTube, below me, my Venmo. I got bills. I gotta pay the upgrades. I don't know if y'all been, how long any of y'all been, I know a lot of you are new, but the OGs in the chat have been following me since before the lights and before the neon behind me and before the setup. So, I love my loyal OGs. But yes, today was really, really great. I don't know if y'all saw my batting videos. My godfather took me to a batting cage because he joined a baseball league, and he called me and he's like, "You want to go with me to the batting cage?" And I was slightly terrified, but I said, "Yes, I do." Just like a super supportive spiritual daughter that I am. Yes, cheers. He's actually watching me today. He is in the production room and slightly nervous because, daddy's watching. But no, I have not talked to Willie, and I'm just looking in the chat, talking to someone in the chat. I have not talked to Willie. I think you're talking about Willie Montague. I have not talked to him. There was some questionable behavior coming out of Willie, and so I kind of stepped back from that group for a little bit just to see what would pass. But it seems like he's doing okay, so good for him. But yeah, I went to the batting cages, and I just have to say, hitting a baseball bat is way harder than it looks, and a 55-mile-an-hour baseball really hurts your bones. I was not prepared for the level of force that was going to travel down the bat into my bones, and my bones are 40 years old, so my mind was like, "You got this." My mind was like, 23-year-old Luna's right here at this bat. And then my bones were like, "Woman, take it easy. Softball. All right. We are ready to get into some of our videos. The first one we have is, you want to watch me do it in my ventriloquist voice? I'm going to do it. Okay. Everybody, if you're not looking at the screen, this is your one chance to come to the chat and look at the screen. Because here we go. Israel turning Christians into Zionists. How'd you like that? It was good, right? Here we go.
Israel is bribing churches in America to spew Israeli Zionist content. The Israeli government has launched Show Faith by Works,
He's so intense, and his eyeballs are like blue. But wow, he's intense.
$3.2 billion campaign that will be donating to churches across America in areas that don't support Israel to try to change the opinion. All of this was filed under the Foreign Agents Registration Act.
Here's my problem. Show Faith by Works. Judeo-Christianity. As you all know, I was born into a Judeo-Christian evangelical doomsday cult. And this is one of the things about cults. They're not Christian, even if they pretend to be, because Jesus came down here to make the point to tell the Jews, the Pharisees, because they were basically oppressing all of the people in their synagogues with the law after law after law after law after law after law after law. And, these people are like, I can't be in compliance with all of this. And it was really leading to a lot of dysfunction with the Jews. And Jesus basically was like, no, you don't have to keep proving your faith by works. I'm here to take this burden of sin off of you, which is a human construct, off of you. And by me doing this, you don't have to try to continuously prove that you're worthy of salvation by constantly proving that every single day you wake up. And that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses do. That's what the Scientologists do. That's what the LDS Church does. That's what the Mormon Church does. That is what the Jews do. They literally gaslight you into and guilt you. They use fear, obligation, and guilt. And this is exactly what Israel is doing, going and targeting Christian communities to try and influence them to get closer aligned with Judeo values. And that is one of the Judeo values. Faith by works. You have to prove it. But no, we don't. We are Christian. You're Jewish. You can believe that all you want. You can do that. Good for you. If you have to have that kind of a lifestyle to keep you morally in check, where you have to be actively thinking about your works every day, and that's what you need to be a good moral person, I support you if you love that and that's your thing and that's your jam. But in the West, we're Christians and we believe in the power of the ransom sacrifice. So faith by works, I don't think is going to be a campaign that's going to work on anybody who's spiritually awake.
Because it's the Israeli government, they have to file it. The Israeli Foreign Ministry, cooperating with the Trump administration, is using data targeting, digital advertising, and AI, shocker, to spread pro-Israeli messages through mega churches, pastors, and Christian influencers, such as Chris Pratt, Tim Tebow, and Steph Curry. They have a goal of 3.8 million churchgoers to strengthen
it's a business
Christian
model
support for Israel, all for the evangelical crowd. As they say, the younger evangelicals are even turning on Israel. If you start to notice athletes and actors talking about Israel biblically a little bit more, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Israel.
Yeah. You guys have been seeing it. I know a lot of you have been seeing it. You've been on my page talking about it. I think they know the jig is up. I think Charlie Kirk really jolted a lot of spiritually lukewarm people into a rolling boil. And I think Charlie Kirk's death woke up a lot of spiritually dormant people. And with that came, those of us who are paying attention to the FBI rhetoric around Charlie Kirk's death, it's making us go, I don't know, right? So it's like you have these two things happening at the same time, and it's just, I think they know they're starting to be discovered. And if this was the 90s or the 80s when the internet wasn't the way it is, it'd be super easy to indoctrinate. I mean, that's how it was back in the 80s and 90s. Like when I was born in the 80s, I remember it was like support Israel, period. Like if you were a Christian, it was just automatic, like default. Israel was like, you support them. But now in this day and age of instant sharing, I can share something with somebody in Turkey right now. Like you guys are watching me from the UK, and you're watching me from Uganda, and you're watching me from Portland and New York. It's like right now. And so it's getting harder for them to suppress the truth. So they're going to have to go on this whole entire campaign to try and, promote Zionism. But don't fall for it, folks. Don't fall for it. Because if you take part in that and you're America first, you're going to find yourself in conflict because they're going to want you to put Israel's interest first. So, a lot of things coming up here is going to really come down to a lot of moral introspection, because if you're a Christian, how can you follow Christian law by incorporating Judeo law or Shira law? You can't. It doesn't work. So we really need to be paying attention, to what's going on with the indoctrination. And it's kind of sad that you have to be careful now about what happens when you go to church. If your church is going to be compromised by, figurative door knockers, Zionist door knockers, it's like, ugh, my God, I hope someone knocks on my door. I hope a Zionist knocks on my door. Could you guys imagine? I mean, y'all know me. Woo. First, I'm going to bring them in by offering them some tea. Then once they're inside, oh, hell's gonna... No, not really. I'm not mean. I'm just on a mission to I don't bullshit anymore, because if you're not awake by now, there's no hope for you. And I just done with the fuckery. So if you're going to knock on my door and talk to me about some Zionism, yeah, you'll probably get a whole heap of truth that will make you question your entire existence, because I grew up in a cult and that's just not going to work on me. So along with keeping with the theme, which I'm going to do better at, because, Luna likes to go on her rants. More Zionism indoctrination, folks. Here we go.
So how does indoctrination happen? Let's talk about it. So for me, it started at home. We didn't see people as equals. We were constantly told that we were the chosen people. Mm-hmm. That phrase alone is so
Me too, as a Jehovah's Witness.
But as a kid, it tells you something so much deeper. There's us and there's them.
So far, he is very on point. The chosen people. You can't associate with them. They're devilish influences. They are part of the devil's world.
Goyim, as they say. The exact definition of that is the non-Jews. Then on top of that,
which they say goy for short, which is obviously a derogatory word,
was Hebrew school. And the whole point of Hebrew school wasn't what you think. It wasn't about learning about Judaism. It was about preparing for your bar mitzvah and learning about the state of Israel. They told us that Jews needed a place to live after World War II and that there was an empty desert that was gifted to us, a land without people for a people without land. That line has repeated so many times in my brain that it's been burned into it.
Yep.
Of course.
Same as a Jehovah's Witness. The founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses is Charles Hayes Russell. He was a 33-degree Mason. You can find his grave up in Pennsylvania. You can see the proof of the Masonry thing and the occult ties or whatever. But this is exactly, he's 100% telling the truth.
Of course, it was a lie. But that was the start of my indoctrination. Zionism over Judaism, always.
So we, as Jehovah's Witnesses, talked about Zion, but they had a slightly different definition of like the chosen people, which did involve the 144,000 as descendants of those of Israel, as a distinction as to how they're special in my religion I grew up in. I like what he said at the beginning of the video about like how as a kid that just immediately teaches you like, it's like an arm of racism where I can remember being in school and just being like, I can't associate with these people because they're not the protected people. They're not the chosen people. They're not the ones with the truth. And I have to protect myself from bad association. So you do tend to start looking down on other people, I guess, in a way. You don't know you're doing that. But now that I've been out of it for many years, looking at my family that's still in it, like they look down, looking at them from the outside, they look down on everyone. Like they're less special. Hey, Mark, watch the camera right there. You're moving it. Yeah, you're good. They look down on other people because they're special and almost even like an intelligence thing. They think that the other people aren't capable of understanding, but they have to go door to door and bring the good news to those that God is leading them to. It's all very fucked up, to be honest. All right, let's get back to the video.
And unlearning that was the real work. Peeling back the lies, choosing truth over my comfort, and then seeing the people that we were literally taught not to see. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for listening. Mm-hmm. On my next video, I'm going to go over all the specific lies that I've been fed. See you then.
That is David Says Stuff on, is that TikTok or Instagram? Instagram. He's, if you can get past the like soft boy voice and how clearly he's, I don't know. I'll just leave it there. If you can get past that, he might have some interesting information to share as far as Zionism. I haven't gone through his page like totally. But I just want to say to whoever was the follower that like came to my defense in one of these debates on my post, where people are literally like not using their mental faculties before spewing out the garbage that comes out of their mouth. They don't understand anything I say. So, like there was a whole fight going down on my page yesterday. Someone chimed in today and like in my defense, and they were like, no, if you want proof of what she's saying, you haven't been watching her show and her episodes. She brings receipts. So I just want to say to that person, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for having my back. That was really cool to see. Okay. Next video on the way. While production loads up the screen, I'm going to take a look and see who's on the chat. We got Todd's in the house. Airbnb Oasis. Yay, I'm seeing, I got all the OGs coming in now. David. I got, The Art of Thaddeus. I like the name. Tim, Corinne, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. JC, Rachel, welcome all. Walking Dead 1, welcome. Okay, so we're going to get into the next video. Douche, fuckface, dickbag, fart breath, Mondani's view on prison and police. You like that?
That prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. Instinct is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away. Put them in a cage and throw away the key. And that doesn't address the reason why that harm was created in the first place. A lot of times, people who create trauma for others are those who themselves went through trauma earlier in their own lives. Right. And I bring all of this up to say that,
So far, he has said nothing. Yes, we all know abusers go on, victims, like abusers create other abusers, like someone that's been brutalized by someone. It's highly probable that they may brutalize somebody else. Like, we all know this. So far, that's the only thing substantial he's said. And it really is nothing that we don't know. So let's listen to messy-haired Mamdani continue in his house. Actually, this looks like his apartment. And it looks like it's literally decorated like an apartment in Iraq or whatever. I've seen apartments in there, and it's like very like minimalist.
Again,
Funny.
like when we talk about policing, I don't think the system actually makes us safer. I think what it does is it just removes problems out of view. The way that prisons...
I don't even know how to respond to that. Removes the problems out of view. Correct, sir. That's what we're doing. We are locking up criminals and putting them in cages so they don't murder, rape, and harm other people. Yes, we're locking them up out of view. What's your fucking point? What's your point?
Are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. Instinct.
Yes, it does. Now, if you want to talk about what the prisoners actually need to prevent recidivism, we can have that conversation. But what he's saying is a crock of shit. Yes, it does make us safer by putting them out of view. But I think he's not intelligent enough to actually go where this conversation should be going. And that's, how do you provide actual supportive therapy to criminals, which 90% of them are just bad problem solvers. Most of them are just evil. They're not wicked. They don't love what they're doing. They're just bad problem solvers. The wicked are different ones. Those all gotta go to Guantanamo. But like, the evil people need to be taught how to function in society, how to solve problems healthily. Nobody wants to have that conversation. When I was running for Congress, that was one of my pet projects, was prison reform to actually prevent recidivism, which is reoffending and going right back into prison. Because the system, once you come out, you are kind of like barred from everything in life because it's public that you're a felon, which is like, if they go into prison and pay their due to society, they should be set free of that debt. They should be not judged anymore. However, I think that a lot of benefit can come from being a felon and not being able to be hired, because I've kind of experienced what it's like not being able to be hired, because after I ran for Congress, being conservative, I got like doxxed everywhere. So I had to be a business owner. And I have to say, the richest people I know are all felons. So just saying, not advocating to be a felon. I'm just making a point that like being a business owner is probably the way to go.
Is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away.
Yes, Airbnb Oasis, I do. I realize that his true motive is to totally destroy New York. I mean, this is like, if they can take New York, they're going to spread like a cancer through the country. I mean, and already I did a few episodes back, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I did an episode where I showed you all of the Muslim mayors that have been elected into office, that are sitting in office right now across the country. It's spreading. And we really need to do something about it, because I don't think you should be able to hold office if you are a foreigner, or if you hold dual citizenship. Not if you're a foreigner. If you hold dual citizenship. To me, that's still being a foreigner, whatever. You shouldn't have office if you hold dual citizenship. And he has dual citizenship with Uganda, by the way. So there's that. So does Ilhan Omar, has dual citizenship with some other place too. So they need to be taken out of all political office unless they want to swear utter loyalty to the United States government. Okay. Next video. I got a lady for you guys that I just will totally have fun roasting, because she deserves every bit of roasting, because she's a pedo supporter. So anyway, I want to talk about California. I want to talk about the gubernatorial race in California. Miss Katie Porter is a fat sack of pedo defending shit. Let's watch this.
A groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform.
just for context, just to enlighten you on what she is saying.
Oh, she's so cute.
In that clip, is that being a pedophile is no more than a sexual orientation. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a disgusting
love
act.
her.
It's just an allegation. Being attracted to a child is sexual orientation. Where has this world come to? That children,
She is great.
innocent children who have never done anything wrong, who are preyed by adults,
Yes,
are no
Bella.
longer
Preach,
victims,
Bella.
but a small obstacle in the way of societal thinking. There's no doubt in my mind that somebody who says things like this, somebody who defends things like this, they also partake in it. I believe
Absolutely.
that she does. And to
She
think
is
that,
a
there you
wise
go,
little
Democrats.
girl.
These are the people you are voting for. These are the people who are representing
Tell him,
you.
baby.
People who outright validate pedophilia. And all I really know is I can say that my God sees that. As hard as it is to want to take action in ways that I can't even describe, I know that my God, whether Democrat or Republican, will bring justice because he is a
Yes.
fair and lawful God.
And just God. Woo! She's on fire, little Miss Bella Vontes, live from Arizona. Girl, do your thing. I support you. You're a fireball. Keep doing it. I am so proud of little Miss Bella for saying this. You know, I've been saying it for a really long time. This trans obsession that has been pushed by our government onto our children was the stepping stone to legalize pedophilia. Because when this hit my home with the transgender issue with my older child, I had to learn. I had to learn fast. I had to start figuring out, where is the information coming from? How is it accessing my kid? It led me down one of the darkest rabbit holes I have ever seen in my life. And there is a group, it starts with an N, out of California. Hopefully someone will see this video and like remind me what it is. But it starts with an N, but it's about legalizing child attracted persons. That's what my trans research led me right into. They're trying to legalize pedophilia. What's the perfect way to do it? Have Muslims sitting in office. You know why it's the Muslims? Because their book tells them that as soon as someone hits puberty, they are now an adult. So a 13 or a 14-year-old is allowed to be fucked by some creepy old man. Okay, so do you see what's happening? Are you guys there yet? Are you there with me? Please tell me you're there with me. Because this is an utter takeover of moral Western society, which I'm sorry, like, I'm not a typical Christian. I follow Jesus Christ's teachings. I model Christ's behavior, but I worship God. I don't worship Jesus. I worship God. Jesus is my savior. He is my God of love. He is my example on how to be a human being. And I am telling you right now, they are trying to destroy Christian society because Christian values have statistically, this is not me speaking on my emotions, because truth be told, I am what's called a Christo-pagan. I am somebody that is not part of the Christian church, but recognizes the divinity of Jesus Christ and incorporates him into my spirituality. So it's very important that I am saying this. What I am saying is that Christian society does statistically provide the safest lifestyle you can live in, the safest neighborhoods, the safest countries to live in. And it must be protected at all costs. How can you be about eradicating a belief system based on love? I'm not down for that. I think Christians need to be protected right now, and it needs to be getting as much attention as the Jews got. I'm sorry, but why do we have to remember the Holocaust so much, but we can't talk about the 120,000 Christians that have been genocided over the last 20 years? Why isn't anyone talking about it? But I have good news, because Trump is like finally paying attention to those of us talking about it. I told you, he loves social media. He watches everything. I said it in a show probably 2 or 3 shows ago. Did I not? I was talking about the Christian genocide, and I said, I hope Trump sees this. I know he'll see this because he loves social media. And then he made a public statement today. Woo! All right. Let's watch Joe Rogan talk shit on Miss Porter as well.
Bring up, and people would say, this is ridiculous. Who believes this? It's that pedophilia is not a crime, that it's a sexual orientation. This lady who's running for governor of California, this crazy lady,
Porter or whatever the fuck her name
Katie
is.
Porter, that screams at her staff, get out of my fucking shot.
She's the worst.
She looks like the way she talks. Like the way she talks when the cameras are rolling and she doesn't think anybody's going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a monster.
I'm going to show you that
But
video
she
soon.
did one of those interviews where she was talking about pedophilia, and she was talking about
Minor attracted people, you mean MAPS?
Yeah, see, I used to say that they're talking about this in certain universities.
Do not ever say the term child attracted person or minor attracted person. Don't you do it. You know why? Because if you do it, you are minimizing this act. You are minimizing the trauma that will be inflicted upon this child. Do not say it. Don't say it. Child attracted person should be a derogatory slur just as bad as the N-word. Don't say it because it minimizes how deep this is. It makes it, a little softer on the ears. Don't.
And people like, that is never going to go anywhere. No one's going to buy into that. This lady's running for the governor of California, and she said that. I used to bring up, and people would say,
yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Joe. I love Joe Rogan. He's always he's always been very common sense. He asks the right questions because he's asking from a point of view of like, I'm not taking sides. I just want to know what everybody thinks. That's how I am. I really used to be that way. But now I'm just kind of like, this is the side I'm on. Here's my line. America. I'm on that one. All right. Let's go to the next video. This is going to be Porter also gets triggered easily. Yeehaw.
I'll ask the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that
well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
I think I have a longer the video of this from the beginning.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with
we should probably play that one. The one where they play this from the beginning. Because she can't take... Scroll. I put a note with it. That one. Yeah. We can skip that one.
President Biden has said that inflation is
no, not that one. Click that. Yeah, go out of that one. It is that one right there. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been following Katie Porter since she dumped a steaming hot bowl of mashed potatoes over her, now ex-husband's head. So she's never been personality plus. But I have to tell you, she really did some big revelations during this interview. Clearly, she was unprepared. She had a list of what she was going to be asked. She was unprepared to answer anything outside of the realm of what she was expecting, which automatically disqualifies her to be California governor. And I think most importantly, Grant, it also showed that she thinks that she is the shoo-in to become the next governor of California without any of the voters making their decision.
You can tell in the way she's behaving if you've been following this race at all. She acts like she don't got to try at all. She acts like a diva too. She looks like... she looks like if I went kayaking in Crystal Springs, I might see her.
And that is specifically why I brought you on here, because nobody knows the ins and outs of California politics like Jennifer Horn does. And I mean this, Jen. You are on them 2 steps ahead of them every step of the way. You heard this soundbite, and you knew exactly what she just told everybody who knows the inside game. Roll that one, guys.
Oh, here we go.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote.
And she's laughing. She's like, what a stupid question.
You think you'll get 60%? Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
All right, Jen, you say there are some secret signals in there. Why don't you lay that on us?
Yeah, not so secret, actually. If you know how the Democrat Party works in California, it is extremely powerful. They get their money from the environmentalist groups, they get their money from the teachers union. And the reason we have so many terrible candidates, I'd look at Katie Porter, I'd look at Kamala Harris, I would look at Senator Alex Padilla and Adam Schiff, is that the Democrat Party finds transactional actors, people that can be controlled, and they elevate them through the...
We don't have to watch the rest of that. Now we can go back to the other one because I want you guys to see the there we go. Yeah.
We've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can.
This is the continuing from
and
the other
what
spot.
I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
She taps out, folks.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Not with 7 follow-ups. What are you going to do when you get to Congress? Like, what are you going to do? Like, just be like, it's too long. I can't read it. Oh, this. What are you going to do if you have to be on a committee? And then someone tells you, why do you keep asking me follow-up questions, Katie Porter? I'm not going to do this. I'm done. Like, seriously? And you're running for governor? And you don't want follow-up questions? What about when a fire hits your state and your residents are asking you a whole bunch of questions? You're just going to walk out on them and be like, this is too many questions. Why do you keep asking me follow-up questions? She's such a punk. She's such a punk. But she said it. She said she doesn't have to try that hard to get the voters. She's like, I don't need Trump voters. Why would I need Trump voters? I don't need them. I'm going to win with just all that. They're not going to vote for me, but I don't need them to win. That's not the point, you dumb bitch. The point is, be a good person. Be a good human. Do the right thing. The fact that you can't even be asked a question tells me that if I'm in need and I need to talk to you, you're going to be annoyed and you're going to throw mashed potatoes on my head like you did your husband. And if anybody treats their husband like that, they can't trust them in literally any form of business. None. Zero. You can't trust them in any form of business. If that's how they treat the person closest to you. You can't trust them at all. And you want her making business decisions for your state, California? This mean ass, see you next Tuesday? Let's watch the next video. Watch how she treats this person who walks in her shot.
And other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot!
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't make a commitment under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
She seems like a sweetheart, yeah. That is Katie Porter.
No lie, I would have been irritated about the same thing, but I would have been like this. Excuse me, can you hold on 1 second? Do you need something? That's what I would have done. And then the girl would have said what she wanted to tell her. And then it would have just, that's how you handled it like a lady. Keep your crown straight.
And she's running for governor of California. But what I found interesting is when she snapped on that staff.
Woody the Roadman says, it's Karen. It is. We found the Queen Karen. There she is, folks. The Karen.
After that staffer just continued on like that was normal. To me, it made me think she regularly talks like this to these people.
She just ignored it.
Which is just disrespectful, rude, and condescending.
And why don't I hear anyone saying she's a racist? Because that girl was black.
And again, this woman is running for governor of California. She also got mad at a journalist for asking follow-up questions and essentially tried to end the interview. Looking at this, it tells you something about her character.
MCall1995 started following me from the live. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. I hope you love my content.
How she treats people on her staff. I don't think she's fit to be governor. I don't even think people should be taking her seriously as a gubernatorial candidate. Also,
but can I just say, she's really kind of freaking hilarious. And if she wins, she's going to give me great content for the next 4 years. So that'll be freaking awesome. So can we keep her kind of because California's already screwed. So can we elect her so we can have good content? Because it would really make for great content.
So for example, watch the beginning of this.
What do you say to the 40%?
Okay, yeah, we don't have to watch that because we just watched that again. Is that all for the Karen Porter video? Or Kate Karen Porter? Now I'm really actually calling her Karen Porter. Oh, so we have another Katie Porter video. Yes, the inflation one. Right there. This one.
President Biden has said that inflation is the number one priority for the Biden White House to try to get under control right now. As you're out there in California talking to constituents during this re-election year for Congress, how does inflation compare to this newly important, in the sense of the Supreme Court decision pending, abortion issue? How do those two issues compare?
Well, I don't think they compare. I think they actually reinforce each other.
Yeah.
So the fact that things like inflation can happen and it can become more expensive to feed your kids and to fuel your car is exactly why people need to be able to be in charge of how many mouths they're going to have to feed. So I think the fact that we're seeing this.
You know how you can be in charge of how many mouths you have to feed? Don't be a hoe.
Jump in expenses, that we're seeing people having to pay more in the grocery store, pay more at the pump, pay more for housing is a.
Sexy and Baldwin is asking, ever date a guy going bald? No, but I am married to one going bald. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I make him so y'all know I did hair for like 20 something years. So, I have him using anti-hair loss shampoo because, hair thinning goes in your genetics. So, I was like, you're not about to look like your brother. Use this shampoo.
The reason that people are saying, I need to be able to make my own decisions about when and if to start a family. So I don't think we're going to see them. I don't think it's about comparing them or contrasting them. I think they reinforce.
You know why she's so flagrantly able to say inflation is an excuse to have an abortion? Because clearly no one is banging this whale and she's not going to get pregnant. So she's easily able to be like, yeah, you could just do that. She's never going to know what it's like to carry that kind of a weight, that kind of guilt. No one's going to knock this girl up.
First, for people, just how big of a responsibility it is to take care of a family.
I hope she's never a mother, because you saw how she was talking to the poor little girl in the background. Shoo, she throws mashed potatoes on her husband's head. Whew, I hope she never has a baby. I can't believe she's even married. If I was married to someone that looked like that, it would obviously be their stellar personality that made me marry them. And the moment they were to throw mashed potatoes on me or anything of the like, all of a sudden my eyes would become clear like everyone else's and see how completely gross they are as a whole. And I'd be like, what am I even doing? So if you're Katie Porter's husband, I don't know your name, I think you can, Mr. Porter, listen to me, Miss Luna Lopez. I am telling you, sir, without ever seeing you, you can do better. All right. Two more Katy Perry. Karen Porter, Katy Perry. Katie Porter videos.
Nobody, including Riley Gaines, who I disagree with strongly, should
What do you disagree with, out of interest?
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make the decisions about who and
What
how
has she
should
said
compete.
that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing. I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
Well,
she actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair.
Karen.
Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be
No.
fair.
Yes. Women's rights, folks. I'm a feminist. I like being the weaker vessel.
Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
I'll just tell you this. I'm 40 years old. My goddad is 20 years older than me-ish. bro, he freaking kicked my ass at the batting cage. Like, women bodies are not meant to go to war. Like, that's what men do. That's why they think one side of their brain at a time. You have to be able to have your eye on the goal and just do that and not think about anything else. If I'm sending a woman to war, into battle, she's in the battlefield thinking about auntie, grandma, cousin she's never going to come home to. She's busy thinking about all kinds of things. Men think so, like, he's like, I'm going to compete. I can't beat other men. So I'm going to go race other women in the water because I can't even outswim other men. I'm this much of a bitch. So if I go beat women by yards, I'll feel better about myself. These are the type of men that preceding this trans boom, I'm not going to say us, women have been choosing soft men, and it's just over and over, generation after generation in the West, because we're a corporate society and we keep freaking breeding this, like, man. It's become a man who can't do man things with other men and don't have the drive to protect women. You're competing with women? What the hell? You're literally like a scourge to this earth. Like, a man that wants to compete against women? Are you freaking joking? That's the same as, like, you might as well just be punching her. Like, her body is not gonna, even if she's a badass, she's not gonna last as long as you. You're gonna eventually, like, she'll burn out before you. It's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of this rant. Like, our bodies, my pops was like smashing the balls like just over and over and on. And he's not wearing gloves either, and I know it's hurting his hands. But he's like just going. And I tapped out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. My hands hurt. And so it's just kind of funny to watch a man especially like in swimming, really. Oh, and you want to take out your need to, like, there's like a glimmer of man in there somewhere, because you gotta win. You gotta win. But you can't beat other men, so you gotta go beat other women, you bastards. You bitch bastards. Beta bitch bastards. Real women don't like them. Nope. We want to see a alpha man going and beating the snot out of ladyboys, honestly. Especially ones that want to go compete against women. Whew. Ooh, I tell you what, if my husband ever got word that a boy caused my daughter harm in sports, that boy is daddy. I'm gonna have another thing coming to him. My daughter's daddy is not gonna let her be abused by another man. And I'll tell you what, if he can't beat the boy, he'll go make an example out of the daddy, because you the bitch that raised that bitch. So I'm about to teach you a lesson. All right, one more. If you haven't had enough of Katie Porter. I mean, she's getting me blabbing. So you should be liking these Katie Porter videos. In the chat, Woody says, so true. Let you use both arms with my one arm for the arm wrestle. Right, exactly. All right, let's see the video.
Psychogate continues. You know, Katie Porter, she's the leading candidate for governor in the state of California. She's a crazy person. She treats everybody around her like crap. She doesn't think the voters are worth a thing. Here she is trying to rescue her failing candidacy right now.
Should California voters feel confident that there aren't any more Katie Porter videos out there?
What I know is that I could have done better in those moments. I'm going to be focused on earning their votes and earning their trust. That's true in every election.
Oh my God.
I've only ever had tough elections.
But not just the CBS interview, the interview with the staffer. Can voters be confident that there won't be another one of those videos?
Oh, what happened to the sound on the video?
What I do know is that I could have done better in that situation.
But that's not a no.
I could have done better in that situation. You mean I could have done the total opposite?
I'm going to be honest with you. I know that video was several years ago, as you know, and I apologize to the staffer. That's super important to me.
But not that there's not going to be any more videos.
I am taking responsibility for this situation, and I'm also
They made her voice so low.
Are you listening to this shit? Oh my gosh, she's unreal. And imagine how angry she is. My favorite part of that interview
looks
is
like
she has to control her normally unbridled rage.
Yes.
You know what's playing out in Katie Porter's head as she's doing this? I just want to grab this woman by the throat. I want to chop her head off of her body for daring to ask me these questions. You know what
Yes!
the interview was doing? The interview was doing my favorite thing to do to Katie Porter, follow-ups. She's asking follow-ups.
All right.
And Katie Porter.
Look, folks, I'm going to put my psychologist hat on right now. I got the degree in the Honor Society, so don't come at me. I'm about to tell you something. Look, I was abused as a child, so I can tell you when I see another person that was abused, I know it. That woman was abused by somebody terrible, probably in her family, because she's angry as hell at everything. I mean, to put mashed potatoes on your husband, to talk to that staffer, to have that level of rage in you all the time, you are dealing with trauma. And it's like what the other guy said in the other video, traumatized people traumatize others. And I don't think she's aware of it yet. And I see it in her very strong. And she probably honestly really hates men, because I think it was a man that did it to her. I can see it all over her. For me, it was women that did it to me. So, if you know me very well and you see me around certain women, you can kind of start to see the little signs of the trauma, because I'm automatically in a more of a defensive state, and for a long time before I got therapy, deep years long therapy, because mine started as very young and went on for years. But when you start that journey, you basically start to see yourself in the moment, right? More in the moment more often, and you start to see how you kind of have this overtone of anger, but you're so used to living in that overtone, you don't even realize when you're coming across angry to other people. So I guarantee you, this woman probably just seeing herself on video probably is what pushed her to the point for a woman with this level of defense to be in public and say, I shouldn't have done that, because she saw herself from the outside looking in, and she probably saw how much more intense it was than she probably thought it was in her head. She probably thought I guarantee you, she thinks she's being more buttoned up than she actually is. But you know what? I say congratulations to her for having this moment, for seeing it's a blessing you saw yourself acting that way, because you could be still continuing living in ignorance right now. So yeah, ouch, gut punch, we know what that feels like. And honestly, with the moments where I've been an ass, I'm grateful for the moments where people are like, look at yourself right here, because it gives me an opportunity to self-correct. And I am grateful that God used that person to bring my attention to something it's not God saying you're being bad. It's just God saying, hey, look, this part of life has jaded you a little bit in this area, and I kind of want you to see yourself from my perspective. And just, it changes things when you can see yourself from the outside. So I'm grateful for that moment on her behalf, because you never know. It may not lead to immediate change, but 10, 15 years, the right moment, something could happen in the right moment, and then she brings herself right back to that video and that apology, and it could radically change her. I think humiliation is never something that should be used for abuse, as a tool. I think it should be a natural consequence that you should be able to understand is a gift from God to feel. Only God can make you feel humiliated if it's the proper setting. People do try to humiliate you as abuse, but being humbled happens by God. And I think that that's one of those moments. Hopefully she'll take this as a humbling moment, not as an attack, but a gift, And sometimes you have to look past the face that's telling it to you. That's why seeing yourself being recorded is a very powerful tool. I tell you, after every time we post these lives, I watch them back for research purposes, in terms of improving the show, for improving my speech, improving whatever. But it's grueling. I don't want to watch it most of the time. I really don't like to watch myself back, because I'm scared I'm going to say something, sound like I'm saying something, more cruel than what I mean it in my head, because I know how I am. I'm very blunt. But, I know that I may need to hear that I may need to have that moment with myself so I could self-discipline. Wouldn't that be great if the world understood that concept as a whole? Self-discipline would be great. All right. So, let me look at the chats. Woody says, you turned out all right. It's awesome. Oh, thanks, Woody. That was really sweet. You're able to deal with whatever happened to you, become a strong woman. Thank you very much. Nick says she's mentally fragile, and for that, she is not fit to be governor. Agree. She's going to burn California with hot mashed potatoes if she gets mad. My coworkers can't stand me because of social media. I get it every day. Woody, my neighbors, after my show went viral, my Chinese neighbors who've been there for 4 years, put out Israel flags, about 5 of them, and put a gigantic sign that says Jesus saves in the window facing my house. Hilarious, right? Anthony says, hello. Welcome, Anthony. I love seeing you on my feed. So yes, good. Road Rage 64. Welcome. Guys, look, I hate asking for donations, but I'm not going to be overly humble. If you're enjoying my content, whenever you have time, please, if you're on YouTube, look down here at Thirst Trap News on Venmo, and on Instagram we have right here above me. Please donate and support your girl. I am developing a line of merch too. So, your donations really go far. It's really to give back to you guys. The donations, I can do this show without donations, clearly, because whatever. But the donations, honestly, it's a good hit of testosterone. Gives me good motivation to keep bringing the content to you. It's good confirmation that you like my content. And it's investing into just keeping it coming to you guys, because I don't do this I do this for you guys. I do this for our kids. I do this for our grandkids. This is why I do this, because somebody somewhere needs to hear common sense. But anyway, now that we're finally through Katie Porter videos, Andrew loses Prince title. Next video
is full disgrace and pretty much unprecedented as far as we can see. We were told Prince Andrew couldn't stop being a prince because he was a son of the late Queen, but they've found a way to do it, and they've found a way to do a lot else besides. And he's going to, as you said, no longer live in Windsor, but in a sort of internal exile, in some sort of property on the Sandringham estate. He's going to be funded, some sort of income is going to come to him from the King. The King's pretty clear that's not going to be Crown Estate money. In no way could people say it was the state supporting him. But this is the most extraordinary set of arrangements that have been announced. It gives you a sense of the scale of the damage that the royal family think that...
Y'all, I think we have a patience problem as Americans because we're very spoiled and we like instant gratification. I think we will get what we want with the Epstein files. I think we just need to be patient. I think Trump is being very strategical. I think his age gives him a lot of wisdom. I think the business he was in gave him a lot of access to the very powerful, but wasn't one of them. So he was close to the bullshit, but can't be implicated in the bullshit, because if he did anything at Epstein Island, the 4 years Biden was president, they would have used that instead of the 34 fake charges on Trump. So clearly he didn't do anything with the Epstein thing. But what I think is clearly King Charles is I can't stop what's about to happen with these Epstein files. So I need to distance myself from what I know has happened in my family if I want to preserve my kingship. I think that's what's going on.
It's quite hard to stop calling him Prince Andrew, that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor had been inflicting on the institution, and also the breadth of feeling across the royal family.
He used the word inflicting
about this man and the serious lapses of judgment we understand that the royal family feel he had shown. So it's not just the king.
I'm telling you, The king's trying to distance himself from whatever's about to come out because, also welcome JPRG, Archer Mandan, and Cousins 83. I'm telling you, King Charles is trying to distance himself because other than Prince Harry, who on his own abdicated his line of succession, it's been several hundreds of years since someone has gotten the boot like this. Like, they stripped him of everything, and now he is down to just his legal name, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. No prince. Not even, so it goes in layers. So there's his and hers Royal Highness, which is just below his and her Majesty. Okay. So Kamala and King Charles are his and her Majesty. The firstborn son, Prince William, and his wife are his and her Royal Highness. And then Harry, and then so on and so forth. As you get further away from the line of succession, they are the Duke of, the Duchess of, the Lord of, etc. So Prince and Princess is the title for those who are daughter and brother or sister or son who are not close enough to get the immediate succession of the throne. So Prince William would be His Royal Highness, not His Majesty, His Royal Highness, and then Andrew, the brother of the prince, who is behind Prince William in succession, would be Prince. You see what I'm saying? So that's a major title to have taken away. Prince and Princess, that's a very shameful moment to have taken away. It's very hard for a prince and princess or a highness or a majesty to be dethroned. That's what they did to Prince Andrew. They dethroned him completely. So if William were to die, they took away Andrew's chance for anything.
Acting here, this is very much Prince William, the Prince of Wales, feeling that this should be done. And as we understand it, the government have been fully consulted. Previous to this, you will have heard that he was no longer going to be called the Duke of York. That was all about him surrendering his titles, agreeing not to.
That's the business negotiation. If you do this on your own, you'll still have a title, albeit a lesser title.
Use them. This is stripping him of his titles. This is going to a degree.
Yes, exactly.
It is hard to remember any sort of precedent for. It is, as I say, full-scale disgrace.
Yes, Woody, excommunication. Exactly. He got excommunicated. I'm excited to see what is going to happen with this Epstein thing, because for King Charles to make this decision, that means something's coming out. And Trump cares very much about being popular. He knows people are upset about this Epstein thing. He does not like to be not liked. He knows his people want this. And I think Kash Patel does not want to have the heat on not delivering that, because I just discovered he has a podcast, and he's honestly, I thought the podcast at first was whack, honestly, after the first episode, but because I have, I'm a pseudo journalist, I wanted to see more and just want to keep seeing, and he's kind of won me over because he really, really does care about transparency. He really does care about addressing rumors. He cares about talking. I've never seen an FBI director have a podcast. Like, this is the modern day cabinet, the 40-year-olds. I'm really honestly pumped about this cabinet. I really am. Tulsi Gabbard is like my freaking hero. She is, if I could be her when I grow up one day, I'll die a happy woman. All right. Mud Pops over here is nodding in approval because he has his secret girl. He loves her. He loves Tulsi. She grew on. She had to grow on me. I didn't trust her at first, because she was like a Dem, and then she was like, I don't like the Dems anymore. I didn't know if she was just trying to be popular and just kind of go where she saw the money train going. So I was suspicious of her, but she's won me over as the and she's head of intelligence, right? Is it intelligence? Yeah. Director of Intelligence. Yeah, she's just watching her poise, her strength without being masculine. She's being very much a queen, a woman. And it's just, ooh, it gives me goosebumps. God, I love her. She's gold for women. She knows how to get the point across, not be emotional, and yet still be a woman. Like, it's, God, she's beautiful. I love her. All right. We can probably skip the Prince. Should we skip the PDF file Prince videos since we, are moving on time? Out of the 4 more left, pull the best one. Okay, let me scroll at which ones you have, because I don't want to take up too much more time on the. Yeah, we could skip it. Let's look at the Dems. They don't say what they mean. Y'all have been watching it on my page. Y'all have been watching every time I say Trump, the liberals come screaming that I should be deported. And then they comment about how I don't know what I'm talking about, that the liberals aren't deporting me, that my president is. And I'm like, no, excuse me, you don't understand what I'm saying. Your little picket line of liberals is telling me I should be deported because I'm saying I love Daddy Trump. Isn't that funny? Your little protest line is telling me I should be deported. They don't mean what they say, folks. They're fucking liars.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
And will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice.
The blabbing baboon.
We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms.
But like, what extremism? Because the only people I see being extreme are your voter base. They're the ones burning down their own communities. They're the ones shooting people on live TV. They're the ones bombing shit and setting cars on fire. You don't see conservatives burning damn nothing down, because we're working people and we know what it's like to fucking work for everything you own. How we would never go burn down our communities. Ever.
Accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy.
You know, Woody, she does sound stoned, although there's certain things about her speech, which I can tell you as the daughter of a Caribbean woman, it's because she's got Caribbean descent, there's certain things about the way she's talking. Also, those of us Black Asians from the Caribbean have very large teeth and it interferes with the way we talk. But yes, so I think that's a lot of the fact that she has Caribbean parents, and I definitely find myself stumbling sometimes when I'm talking because of the way my mother pronounced certain words. When I'm really getting to hearing myself talk, I'll start sounding similar to her because it's just a pronunciation thing.
And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to...
All she's missing is the chicken neck, the turkey neck.
Hold you accountable as a community.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with
the most evil
forms of
people on the left, Obama and Hillary.
How do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of facts. That, I think, is one of the big tasks of social media. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the.
Okay, yeah. Good idea. I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I wonder how they'll feel when it starts, when the shoe's on the other foot. Yeah, sure. Oh, God. You know, Obama and Hillary sitting there, honestly, like, at this point in my life, when I see their faces, it just, like, I feel my blood get cold. I really do. Because, especially at Obama, I take personal offense at Obama, because my people worked real hard to get to where we're at, and he took us back so far when it came to racism. I don't like that man. I don't like that man. All right, next video. Cheryl wants to indoctrinate kids.
I believe that
New
parents
Jersey,
have
folks.
The right to oversee their children's education. I would push an LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but this is not an area where they should be opting out, because this is an area of understanding the background of people throughout our nation. And right now we see, for example, at the Naval Academy, an erasure of history.
Steve Sweeney.
This is going on in New Jersey right now. This is one of your candidates. She wants to force LGBTQ indoctrination on your kids.
I believe that parents have the right to oversee their children's education. I would push an LGBTQ education into our schools. Parents have a right to opt out of a lot of things, but
said it
this
to your
is not-
face. But they're just being more bold about it now. They've gotten a lot of space to be more bold about it. Because in the past, you know, it was very much a sneak attack. It was a sneak attack. You know, with what happened with me and my kid, I had no idea that there was a trans activism group that operated like the same way like battered women's shelters operate, where you can't find the house that they're at, obviously, to protect them from being beaten up or killed by their abuser. There's a trans safe house network that operates exactly the same way. You cannot find out where the safe house is, and it's completely federally protected. And there was a group introduced through the school counselor called Jasmine in Duval County that goes into public schools. They put flyers up and they say, oh, if you're experiencing this or this at home, call us. Alternatively, if you feel this or this, call us. You're not alone. Right. Huh? Yeah. or cis. Yeah. So it's like, if you're experiencing cis, something's wrong with you. You can't be cis. No, it is kind of like that. It's like you're not normal if you're straight. And this group, you know, basically goes to the high schools and looks for the troubled teens and provides them a way out of their oppressive environment, away from their parents who would demand that they do well in school and stay off drugs. We'll get you away from your oppressive parents. Oh, you're a tomboy? No, you're trans. Oh, and by the way, we'll provide you housing, a phone, cash, transportation. Oh, and we'll provide medical doctor, you know, like hormone replacement therapy for you. You have to do this, though. You have to be on HRT to get all this free shit to live in our house. You see what I'm saying? They look for troubled teens who want to run away from home for one reason or another. Offer them an alternative place to be, but you have to be on hormone replacement therapy to receive the benefits. When I tell you my county has a lawsuit coming to them, I'm telling you my county has a lawsuit coming to them. I just have to wait for all the investigations to finish, because I have a very public investigation going on that school. I'm out for blood. You took my child. You sucked her mind out of her brain. You replaced it with something else that is not my child. She refers to her name as her dead name. So now, because my Penelope has been taken from me, you will suffer every available consequence for it. And I promise you, if it takes till the day I die, I will be satisfied. because I will not let another child, another parent fall victim to pedophilic predators that are walking around. Not going to happen. As long as I breathe air, you will always see me speaking out against pedophiles because it is all too close to home for me. And the trans movement is an extension of that. I know the damage pedophiles can do to you. I know it personally. That's how I was able to see what was going on with this trans movement. I smelled them everywhere. I saw them everywhere. Thank God I was able to hang on to my daughter till she turned 18. Thank the Lord. I have to thank the Lord Jesus for what I can thank him for. Because could you imagine her running away as a minor? Like, could you imagine this same scenario, but she's 15? I'm so grateful I had, even if her mind was being fought over and I didn't know it, at least I had her brain until she was 18, and I was able to keep her for 18 years and get what I needed her to know in her head, and now she can go out and experience what I've been talking about, what she should know. All right, next video. Some idiot in a car talks about how Hurricane Melissa... No, sorry. How queer is Jesus? Sorry, Jesus.
How queer was Jesus?
Oh, no.
He was an observant Jew, but he was 30 years old, no wife, no job, hung out with 12 other dudes. That's pretty queer.
Oh, my God.
Queering the Bible takes Jesus and other outsiders and religiously stigmatized folks in the past and juxtaposes them with contemporary queer folks and Christians, realizing that despite our past cultural differences, sexual and gender differences.
This guy is annoying. I think this is a stretch. You know, I rode a motorcycle. I've seen packs of men that hang out with other men that are very straight. Like, what does this mean? Oh, because he hung out with 12 men, he was gay? No, look at a biker club. I promise you, they ain't boinking each other in the booty.
That we share similar histories of out of placeness or vilified sexual.
Is that Woody? Is it because he like talks like this, like that accent?
Sexualities and gender diversities. Jesus' kingdom practice is queer in the sense it questions identities and blurs distinctions.
Where? Show me the scripture. I need it. I need it now so I can feel better about myself. I gotta have it.
Luke presents Jesus as leaving the patriarchal household and challenging both cultural hierarchies in his egalitarian.
Look, I'll give him this. Jesus was a rebel. If you think about it, he was the ultimate apostate because he came to like completely wreck the Jewish law. He completely threw it out. So in one sense, he's a total dissent, total rebel, total apostate. And he hung out with the deplorables. He hung out with the hookers. He hung out with the drunkards. He hung out with the murderers. He hung out with the robbers. Because that's what Jesus does. He's not here for those of you who got it all figured out. If you got it figured out, you clearly don't need Jesus. He's here for the people that have addictions, that need to problem solve better, that need to learn that love ultimately is the only thing you need to comprehend in order to make a good decision.
Aryan meals.
I can't watch this guy. I can't do it. I can't listen to this. I can't. I'm sorry, production. I can't do it. I can't listen to it. I just like, I don't think Jesus like had a problem hanging out with gay folks, but to be honest with you, if you want to talk about his orientation, you know, the Vatican is literally sitting on top of Mary's books she wrote that were supposed to be included in the Bible. You know, Mary Magdalene, his wife, the one he married, that the Vatican doesn't want you to know that he married, and they had children. And when Jesus got murdered, like Charlie Kirk did, they smuggled her and her children and his mother to Spain. Yeah, that's provable. Just look it up. All you have to do is look it up. But the cult of Christendom may not want you to do that. See, being a Christian is separate from being part of Christendom. That is the political operation that used religion and Christianity to deploy their right to rule over you. Christendom. That's a political construct overshadowing Christianity. Christianity is different. That's why I say I'm not a typical Christian. I'm not part of Christendom. I follow Jesus' example. I don't follow the business of Christianity. So, next video. I got some idiot in a car talking about how Hurricane Melissa was a detonation.
What if I told you Hurricane Melissa did not form? It was detonated. 185 mile per hour winds, pressure 892 MB. Satellite data showed electromagnetic pre-ignition burst 6 hours before it hit. That was not weather. It was a broadcast. Look, back in 2003, the U.S. Patent Office approved patent number US 20030085296A1.
Okay,
A device to
got my
manipulate
attention.
hurricanes using acoustic resonance. Sound waves lead to condensed vapors that lead to steer destruction.
All right, she got my attention a little bit. Don't hate on me. So if you study quantum physics at all, which I think you should, if you want to understand the world around you, you should probably look into quantum physics. She just, can you back that up like 5 seconds? No. She just mentioned vibration and sound. It absolutely, sound is the easiest thing to manipulate in the universe. I do know of HARP. So I want to hear more.
Melissa followed that exact signature. Symmetrical eye, asymmetrical thermal build. Velocity spike, exponential, not meteorological. This storm was coded, not created, but executed. A storm that's engineered can be aimed. Comment scroll if you feel this in your...
Have y'all seen that blob that's moving around the ocean? Y'all about to open up a whole thing. You know, I don't like to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I pay attention to everything that's out there. I watch everything. And I just follow the line of information that doesn't contradict itself. If it contradicts something, it's an op or it's a lie. But we do know they manipulate weather. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if any of you remember Hurricane Dorian, but Dorian sat over the Bahamas going 0 miles per hour for 3 days. Never in my life has a hurricane ever done that, and I'm 40 years old. What I ended up finding out happening was the SEAL team went in to the Bahamas and did some work while the hurricane was sitting on them for 3 days. So I know this happens.
Body. $33 scroll scan equals your personal override protocol. No more guesswork, only clarity. Look, Jamaica is not random. It sits on a ley line node, a planetary energy gate connecting to the Atlantean corridor. When the storm hit, Vision 2030 launched. UN Smart City, biometric ID rollout, AI surveillance grid, same hour, same zone. And I bet you didn't even know that Melissa...
Hang on, folks, for the recorded video. Something just happened to my live stream. Huh? Let me make sure let me look on my phone. Let me make sure the stream is working. Yeah. I don't know. We can restart it though. Hit discard. I'm almost done. Public, just I guess 18 or 17.2. Hit stop recording and just start a new one.